Even mega-hit sitcoms sometimes suffer messy behind-the-scenes confusion. Case in point, Everybody Loves Raymond. In this video, we'll highlight the biggest bloopers, inconsistencies, and uncensored moments that made Raymond's world feel out of whack at times. The not-so-identical twins. In the pilot episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray and Deborah's twin sons are named Gregory and Matthew, played by the Ferrera triplets. But in all subsequent episodes, the twins are suddenly named Jeffrey and Michael and played by real-life twins Sawyer and Sullivan Sweeten. Their older sister Madeline Sweeten plays their sister Allie throughout the entire series. The name and actor changes are never explained on the show. Viewers are just expected to accept it. Some fans theorize that the pilot used the triplets since they were likely cheaper and easier to work with as baby actors, but the show switched to the Sweetens later on for better long-term casting. Robert's ever-changing girlfriends. Robert Barone goes through a string of girlfriends before finally settling down with Amy in season 4. Over the first few seasons, he briefly dates characters like Stefania, Angie, and several others, most of whom only appear in 1 or 2 episodes before disappearing. Robert even gets engaged to a woman named Joanne before she leaves him at the altar. While sitcom characters dating around is nothing new, the speed at which Robert burns through girlfriends is a bit extreme. Most serve as one-off jokes or plot devices rather than fully realized characters. And it makes his desperation to find love seem more pathetic than humorous. Frank's disappearing restaurant. In the early seasons, Frank is the retired owner of a restaurant called Hats Are Us. Several episodes feature storylines related to Frank missing the restaurant business or former customers and employees stopping by. But after the first few seasons, Hats Are Us is never mentioned again. Given Frank's personality, it's odd he never brings up or reminisces about the restaurant he owned for over 30 years. Marie's excessive clinginess. Marie Barone is well known for boundary and privacy issues when it comes to her sons and daughter-in-law. However, her separation anxiety and reliance on them borders on extreme. In one episode, Ray and Deborah go away together for a single night, and Marie is so distraught without them that she camps out in their bedroom. Even for a clingy mother, her panic after mere hours apart from her middle-aged son is bizarre. Marie also has no hobbies or friends beyond her family. Her entire identity revolves around them, which likely feeds her extreme attachment. Ray's constant exhaustion. As a husband, father of 3, and sports writer, it's understandable Ray would be tired and stressed at times. However, his constant exhaustion and reliance on naps is almost cartoonish. No matter the time or place, Ray can fall asleep at the drop of a hat. He even nods off while operating heavy machinery or mid-conversation. While amusing at first, the joke wears thin after the umpteenth time we see Ray snoring away in an odd locale as his beleaguered wife looks on. Even the most world-weary of men would likely make more of an effort to stay awake during family events and outings. Robert's competitive side. From the pilot episode onward, Robert is consumed by sibling rivalry with Ray. He keeps a running tab of who their parents love more and constantly seeks evidence that he is just as attractive, funny, and likable as his younger brother. Robert even chases after Ray's leftovers, hitting on women who previously dated or had a crush on Ray. While funny initially, his obsession with competing gets more disturbing as the series progresses. Even after marrying Amy, having a successful career as a police officer, and starting a family, Robert still measures his self-worth against his celebrity brother, a sign that his unhealthy mindset persists. The disappearing family members. In the show's early seasons, both the Barones and the McDougals make references to other family members that eventually vanish without explanation. Marie mentions a sister named Alda a few times, and Frank references his brother, but neither relative ever appears on screen. Deborah's mother, Lois, is also briefly mentioned as being estranged, but that plot thread is dropped. Deborah also offhandedly mentions being pregnant a 4th time during a flashback to a vacation in Hawaii, but the outcome is left unclear. Carrie's undefined relationship. In season 4, Robert briefly dates Deborah's friend Carrie. Throughout their courtship, Carrie's history with the Barones remains vague and a little confusing. Prior episodes showed Carrie as a close friend of Deborah's, but did not indicate she had an existing relationship with Robert or the rest of the family. But later dialogue suggests Carrie has actually known the family for years. Marie even implies Carrie previously dated Robert. The unclear backstory makes their brief romance feel random and oddly awkward. The evolving sports team allegiances. As a supposed lifelong New Yorker and sports writer, Ray Barone's favorite sports teams should theoretically be consistent. However, the teams he supports seem to change from episode to episode in the show's early seasons. For example, his bedsheets and pajamas variously display logos for the Yankees, Mets, Knicks, and Rangers. While it's possible to like multiple teams, the shifting team gear suggests a lack of attention to detail from the show's prop department early on. Robert's vanishing turtle. In Season 1, Robert adopts a pet turtle he names Mr. Turtle. He brings Mr. Turtle with him when temporarily staying at Frank and Marie's house and is devoted to caring for his new companion. However, after just a few episodes, Mr. Turtle disappears without explanation. Robert never mentions him again or reacts to his sudden absence, which is odd given how attached he seemed initially. The ever-changing number of TVs. The number of television sets in Ray and Deborah's house changes frequently between episodes and even scenes. Their bedroom, kitchen, basement, and living room all occasionally show multiple TVs. However, wider interior shots reveal that only the living room actually has a permanent television. The disappearing and reappearing TVs suggest a continuity error where set dressers kept moving one TV set to different rooms as scripts required rather than buying more props. Marie's exaggerated repression. Marie is an overbearing mother and traditional Italian housewife, but flashback episodes also depict her as having been severely repressed in her youth. According to Marie, she never wore pants, rarely left the house unchaperoned, and was forbidden from expressing opinions until meeting Frank in the 50s. Her stories border on caricature regarding the extreme restrictions Italian women faced at the time. While some truth likely inspired Marie's tales, the absurd degree makes them less believable and more mocking regarding actual cultural norms for past generations of Italian women. The people who vanish without explanation. Beyond forgotten family members and girlfriends, the show also includes secondary characters who disappear inexplicably. Peggy, the real estate woman infatuated with Ray in Season 1, never returns after being invited to a disastrous dinner party at the Barone house. Likewise, Robert's partner Judy from the early seasons is his best friend on the force, but then stops appearing with zero mention from Robert. Stefania, Marie's hairstylist and friend, also ceases contact after a handful of episodes. The infamous Fudge scene. One of the most legendary bloopers from the show happened when young Sawyer Sweeten, who played Jeffrey, loudly swore during a take. The scene features the Barone family gathered in Frank and Marie's living room for a group photo. As everyone says cheese, Sawyer inadvertently yells out the F word instead of smiling for the picture. His co-stars instantly crack up. The child actor had apparently heard the term on a school playground and decided to test it out on set. Brad Garrett, in particular, can barely contain his laughter in the outtake. He buries his face in his hands, with shoulders shaking, while Patricia Heaton doubles over in giggles. Now it's time to hear from you. Who's your favorite character on Everybody Loves Raymond? Let us know in the comment section below.